Welcome to Franchise Empires, where aspiring entrepreneurs learn exactly what it takes to become a successful franchise owner, from one location to 10 and beyond. I'm the Wolf of Franchises.
The Wolf of Franchises is the CEO of Wolfpack Franchising, as well as a creator at Workweek Media. All opinions expressed by the Wolf and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Wolfpack Franchising or Workweek. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. The Wolf, Workweek, and Wolfpack Franchising may maintain positions in the franchises discussed on this podcast.
Hey everyone, it's the Wolf. Today's episode is going to be a bit different, so I don't have an interview lined up. However, we're just going to chat about Krokit and why I launched that. So before you go, we do have interviews as regularly scheduled coming next week again every Tuesday. But for now, if you are a serious aspiring franchise owner or a franchisee who's looking to potentially buy another brand at some point, or if you work at a franchisor, a lender who helps underwrite loans for franchises, or even a private equity firm that might invest in brick and mortar businesses, then Krokit has a value and benefit for all of you. It is an industry-wide data platform for franchises. And so I'll just walk through some high-level stats of where we're at today. So we currently have over 2,100 franchise profiles built on Krokit. So that's 2,100 plus live active brands that are franchising. Some are growing, some are closing. I'll get into the specific data points that are available on the platform, but both of those are included. We also have a lot of FDDs. So our data scraping process involves locating these FDDs and then pulling all the data out of them, plugging it into our software so that you can filter, sort, and discover FDD data within the few clicks of a button. And again, so between the 2,100, it's actually 2,175 franchise profiles right now. Again, that's always growing as we're continuously finding new brand profiles to create. But between those brands, we do have 7,000 FDDs, and that dates back to as late as 2019. So we do have quite a bit of historical FDDs, that is. And, for the aspiring and existing franchise owner, that might not be as beneficial. However, for lenders, right, and private equity firms that are potentially underwriting or investing in brands, the historical context could matter more. So I'll walk through just some of the quick use cases for Krokit based on your kind of customer persona, if you do fall into that. And so between the 2,100 brands and all their data and the FDDs, we have a variety of offerings, and this wouldn't be yet live on our website. We are in the midst of updating that to kind of tell the full story of Krokit. However, we'll start with the aspiring franchise owner. So, right, if you're looking at investing in a brand, it could be anywhere from $50,000, but more or less likely in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars for the highest investment franchises. And look, the reality is, if you're considering doing that, you want to make sure that you know of all your options out there, not just whatever you're finding with a quick Google search, because there are hundreds of franchises that will never show up on a Google search yet because they're so new and they're not populating there. So at a minimum, we are surfacing and actively scraping state websites and a lot of other websites that aren't necessarily known to many people, even within the franchise industry, but that contain these FDDs. And so we're building a massive profile database. So just from a discovery mechanism alone and knowing the brands out there, there's value with Krokit. But beyond that, of course, right, we're populating quite a number of stats that would help inform an investment decision. Again, we are not trying to be the sole due diligence guidance tool for you. To me, the biggest thing with any franchise investment will always be you speaking with the franchisor, being disclosed officially by them with their FDD, and most importantly, speaking with their franchisees. But at a minimum, narrowing down your search for the thousands of franchises that are out there is a difficult task. And, even I tried to do my best with the newsletter where I break down 2 brands a week, but even that, right, isn't doing, honestly, a good enough job for someone who is actively looking to buy a franchise right now. And so our platform makes it very easy to sort and filter brands and discover their growth rates, failure rates, the investment information from how much does it cost to build a location, the royalty fee, brand fund fee, and then a big differentiator between our platform and others is you can directly sort and filter by performance data. So if a franchise shares average revenue per location or average profit per location, we have that information in Krokit for over 250 franchise brands at the moment. And I want to note that many franchises do not share any financial information as far as their performance in their FDD. So we are to a degree limited to what we can share, because if it's not in the FDD, we will never make projections or estimations on a performance. We want it to be valid data. And also there is a legal liability on our end where the Federal Trade Commission does not allow anyone to publish data effectively that isn't being published by the franchisor in their FDD. So for the time being, we are limited to that, but note that we do have 250 plus profitability statistics on Krokit, as well as even more for brands that are sharing revenue in their FDD. And then just back to growth rates, that factors in not only the number of units opening on an annual basis, but also the number of territories and units being signed for. There's often a lag time where someone right now might be buying a 5-location territory, but it will take them a few years to get those open. However, whatever those territories sold are is something that is documented in the FDD. So like anything else, we scrape that data and plug it in because it is useful for potential franchise buyers. So as far as franchisors, I see a clear use case where franchisors who are looking to do competitive analysis can do so very quickly. Again, we have FDDs on every single brand, but also being able to compare quickly via our industry indexes tool what the revenue, royalty, and brand fund and investment ranges are for your biggest competitors. You know, I used to work in franchise development, and a lot of prospects will ask, hey, I saw, this other brand looks to be doing something similar. What are some of the differences between you and them? And so being prepared with those questions is important. Also, just for structuring your FDD on an annual basis, it's better to be in the know than not in the know. And again, so we make it very easy to stay apprised of the most recent information and dive into the FDDs if needed. Then for lenders, right, who are underwriting financial decisions, we do have a enterprise tier that is not currently advertised on our website, but that will be done soon. And the enterprise tier contains a far more access to FDDs. The basic $246 a year subscription limits a user to 20 FDD downloads a month. We do have unlimited tiers available with our enterprise plan, as well as the ability to export data on our entire data set of 2,100 plus brands. You can segment it by industry if you prefer. And we also share franchisor data points, such as how much revenue the franchisor entity made from royalties and franchise fees, as well as any other revenue they may have, such as revenue derived from supplying franchisees. So that is a common method of franchisors monetizing, which could be beneficial for a lender, but also a private equity firm that's looking at potentially acquiring a franchise brand, or possibly even a multi-unit franchisee, to understand how that franchisor is actually monetizing the business. As that's always a consideration, whether you're just an individual buying a single unit, or again, a private equity firm acquiring a multi-unit franchisee platform. You want to be cognizant of ways that the franchisor may increase fees or your costs at some point in the future. So again, all in all, over 2,100 brands and counting. We should be at 2,500 over the coming months, 7,000 plus FDDs and millions of data points within those. So Krokit has something for everyone. It's modern, it's pretty simple to use, and it's tech forward. So check it out if you're interested in seriously considering franchises. And if there's any questions, feel free to shoot a support email to us at support@krokit.com. That's KROKIT.com. And if not there, feel free to DM me on Twitter. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can at FranchiseWolf on Twitter. So thanks again, guys, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled interviews next week.
Thanks for listening to Franchise Empires. We're coming to you soon with actionable insights to take the next step on your franchise journey. So make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen.